we're going to be driving thousands of miles through Europe and hopefully to Monaco, the place when I got this car I really wanted to go, and I want this to work more than anything. Like going to the south of France, driving on the roads of the road trip.
Imagine turning a broken supercar, abandoned and written off, into one of the most talked about machines across Europe's most iconic streets. What if the key to fixing a Bugatti wasn't a multi-million-pound bill, but a simple, overlooked detail?
This is a big moment, because if this works, I'm gonna get to drive this car and we're gonna drive into Europe, which is what I've wanted to do the whole time since owning this car. Driving this into Europe is gonna be a dream. And at the minute, I'm not enjoying this car.
When Mat Armstrong cruised through Monaco late one night, all eyes weren't just on the Bugatti Veyron's stunning silhouette, but on the story it carried. A story of defying expectations, breaking barriers, and proving what relentless passion can achieve. This isn't just a car. It's a symbol of ingenuity challenging the impossible. The stalled legend. The story begins with a Bugatti Veyron that many believed was destined to remain motionless forever. This was no ordinary supercar. It was a repossessed machine, known for its staggering engineering, yet crippled by a gearbox that refused to shift out of park. Despite its incredible pedigree and price tag, the car sat broken. A reminder that even the most legendary vehicles can face problems beyond quick fixes. What made this situation shocking wasn't just the car's value, but how completely it seemed immobilized. For a car celebrated as one of the fastest and most advanced in the world, to be stuck in such a basic mechanical state seemed almost unbelievable. Bugatti owners expect perfection, but this particular Veyron was far from it. A story that flew under the radar until Mat Armstrong stepped in. The problem was clear. No one could drive it, and the gearbox was seemingly locked tight. Yet, rather than write it off or demand an expensive dealer solution, Mat dove deep into the mystery himself. The whole scenario raised a big question. How does a Bugatti, a car crafted with unrivaled precision and billion-dollar technology, end up trapped by something so fundamental? Many would have assumed a major mechanical failure or a catastrophic gearbox replacement was needed to get this supercar back on the road. But the answer was hidden beneath the surface, waiting for someone with patience and insight to uncover. This stalled supercar was not just a challenge. It was a puzzle demanding a new kind of expertise. The reputation of the car stood in stark contrast to its uselessness, creating a tension that called for a surprising resolution. Mat Armstrong's story began here, with a vehicle branded broken and a mechanic unwilling to accept that verdict. The suspense wasn't about if it would get fixed, but how, and that answer promised to be anything but typical. What followed was a level of dedication most people wouldn't expect for even a rare machine like this. The looming question of, could it be saved, hung in the air, making the eventual outcome feel like a revelation, not just for the automotive community, but for anyone who respects determination over convention. This stalled legend was about to become a testament to unexpected breakthroughs. Given the scale of the issue, it was easy to imagine that fixing this Bugatti would require factory-level expertise and eye-watering expenses. A stuck gearbox on a car this complex is more than a mechanical problem. It's a symbol of expensive assumptions and the limits placed on independent repair. Yet a deeper look hinted something else might be at play. Behind the scenes, the question wasn't only about parts or labor, but about knowledge versus expectation. The story was becoming less about the car itself and more about the mindset required to confront what seemed impossible. Mat Armstrong's journey would soon show that sometimes even the most formidable challenges have surprisingly simple roots. That initial mystery is what makes this Bugatti's tale so compelling. It invites us to look past surface judgments and ask whether a stubborn problem truly is permanent. When a car as legendary as the Veyron is deemed unfixable, there's something compelling about a solution nobody saw coming. That secret would soon be revealed. The tool that unlocked the mystery wasn't hidden in high-tech diagnostics, but right under the nose. ready to challenge everything people assumed about the car's failure. Diagnosing the impossible. Mat's approach started with hands-on investigation, taking apart what many would leave untouched in a car like this. Instead of immediately pursuing costly replacements, he methodically tested the wiring controlling the gearbox. What emerged was a story of overlooked damage and repeated shortcuts. The root cause happened to be a single melted 40-amp fuse, small in cost, but massive in consequences. This fuse had been the victim of careless repairs before Mat took over. Instead of fixing the underlying electrical fault, previous attempts involved replacing blown fuses with bigger ones, trying to push through the problem rather than solve it. The result was a dangerous game that could have led to serious damage. When Mat replaced the fuse correctly with a simple $3 part, the gearbox sprang to life instantly. That moment caught the attention of the automotive world, not because of flashy parts or complicated engineering, but because knowledge and persistence trumped expensive assumptions. The gearbox hadn't been failing due to a mechanical flaw. The issue was electrical and easily fixable if properly diagnosed. But recognizing that took careful attention and refusal to accept a broken beyond repair label. Mat's mindset reflected a broader tension in the supercar world. How often do manufacturers assume replacement over repair, pushing owners into costly services? Here, one man's patience and expertise challenged the notion that fixing a Bugatti demands dealer intervention at every stage. The solution was stunningly simple, yet that simplicity almost concealed its brilliance. This diagnosis also spotlighted how easy it is for even the most exotic cars to suffer from everyday problems, if only someone takes the time to look closely. The story of this fuse showed that sometimes the greatest barriers aren't tech complexity, but human error and habits. It's a reminder that understanding the fundamentals can unlock what seems impenetrable. After repairing the fuse and bringing the gearbox back to life, Mat didn't stop there. The car needed a full service to ensure reliability across every system. This next phase revealed just how deep his commitment went, contrasting sharply with what the manufacturer advised. It also underscored that real repair isn't just about a single fix, but a comprehensive approach to mechanical health. What Mat uncovered through his diagnostic work wasn't just a fault with the Bugatti, it was a fresh approach to how we think about luxury car repair. His success showed that being hands-on and questioning assumptions can beat the odds in ways many never expect. A new chapter of the Veyron's life was just opening. This story challenges anyone who's ever felt stuck with a problem they assumed was unsolvable. Sometimes, a quiet, clear-headed inspection is what separates failure from a full comeback. The Bugatti's revival was about to move beyond diagnosis into defying the industry's expensive status quo. The costly myths of maintenance. Once the gearbox was freed, attention turned to servicing every system for reliable performance. Bugatti originally quoted an eye-popping £20,000 for the work, reflecting the brand's ultra-exclusive approach to maintenance. This figure alone could deter even the most passionate owners. It wasn't just the money. It was a symbol of the exclusivity and expense often assumed necessary to maintain hypercars. Mat, however, wasn't willing to accept that bill. His knowledge of Volkswagen Group parts, which share many components with Bugatti, opened a pathway to save a vast amount of money by sourcing equivalent parts independently. This cross-referencing approach revealed how many filters, spark plugs, and sensors could be replaced affordably without sacrificing quality or reliability. The full service covered 16 spark plugs, coil packs, every filter, gearbox oil, engine oil, and mass airflow sensors. A complete overhaul by any standard. Instead of a costly dealer bill, Mat completed the entire service for just £1,193.83. That's almost 1/16 of the dealer price. This difference raises questions about how luxury maintenance pricing is structured. When a brand like Bugatti demands £20,000, it suggests that access and brand control are part of the premium, but not necessarily the actual parts or labor. Mat's work proves that with knowledge and effort, owners can bypass these inflated costs. The service wasn't a shortcut or compromise. It was a meticulous, thorough job, cross-checked to ensure every component met or exceeded original standards. This diligence meant the car was not only roadworthy, but ready for the highest performance. The myth that only official dealerships can handle such tasks was decisively challenged here. Maintaining a Bugatti is often compared to an elite club where exclusive pricing and inaccessible service discourage independent fixes. But this story exposes how much of that is perception rather than reality. It invites anyone with the right expertise to reconsider what impossible to maintain really means. Besides saving money, Mat also personalized the car with customizations and restorations, but those details would come later. For now, this service showed immense value in blending precision with practicality. It set up the Veyron's next chapter as a fully capable supercar without the usual dealership strings attached. This striking service turnaround wasn't just a financial win, it was a statement. It said that determination and resourcefulness can rewrite the rules for luxury car ownership, opening doors others might see as locked forever. The Veyron was no longer a stalled legend, but a machine on the brink of revival. Mat's journey beyond diagnosis into hands-on restoration and maintenance redefined what's possible when passion meets knowledge, a combination far stronger than the price tags often associated with Bugatti ownership. The Veyron's transformation was not just mechanical, it was symbolic, a challenge to the accepted way the world treats rare and expensive cars. The road ahead held even more surprises as the story continued to unfold, customizing beyond factory limits. After restoring the Bugatti Veyron to full mechanical health, Mat Armstrong took the project a step further by adding his own personal touches. One of the most notable upgrades was wrapping the car in a stunning satin silver finish, a choice that set it apart from the typical gloss finishes seen on most Veyrons. It wasn't just about looks. This custom wrap gave the car a sleek yet understated presence, blending modern style with the Veyron's aggressive lines. By choosing this finish, Mat made a bold statement. This was a car rebuilt on his terms, reflecting both his taste and dedication. Next came the wheels, where Mat installed custom Vossen rims that enhanced the car's stance and complemented the satin wrap perfectly. These wheels weren't just aesthetic, they were designed for performance, balancing weight and strength to handle the Veyron's immense power. This choice showed that customization was about marrying form and function, giving the car both style and capability. It underscored a passion for doing things differently, adding a signature touch beyond factory options. Mat also restored the front splitter, which had suffered damage over time. Returning this component to its former aerodynamic glory was vital not only for the car's look, but also for its performance at high speeds. Restoring such parts required patience and precision, proving that every detail mattered in bringing this Veyron back to life. It wasn't just a repair job, it was a revival of an intricate piece of automotive art. Perhaps the most impressive demonstration of ingenuity came with Mat building his own speed key. Bugatti's official replacement for this essential part would have cost close to $10,000, a price that many would simply accept. Instead, Mat engineered his own key, saving significant expense and showing that expensive manufacturer demands don't have to be the final word. This move highlighted a mindset that values creativity over costly concession. These customizations reflected a hands-on spirit that extended well beyond fixing the basics. Mat's willingness to tackle complex tasks himself turned this project into a statement about what dedicated enthusiasts can accomplish without relying solely on dealerships. It was a blend of craftsmanship and rebellion against the idea that rare cars must always be maintained through the most expensive channels. At this point, everything was ready for the Veyron's next big challenge, a top-speed run that would justify all the sweat and effort poured into the rebuild. But just as the car neared that milestone, a new setback emerged. The fuel pump control system failed, forcing yet another delay. This moment reminded everyone just how fragile and complex supercars like the Veyron really are, even after meticulous restoration. Rather than give up, Mat doubled down on diagnosis once again, tracking down the failure and sourcing an official replacement module. This repair came at a steep price, around £4,500 with mandatory dealer installation, but Mat's persistence never wavered. Having already overcome so many obstacles, this hiccup was just another step on the road to revival rather than an endpoint. Freedom on the road waited, but first, the journey would cross borders, where the true test of this restoration would unfold in public view. Crossing borders in style. The first stop on the Veyron's post-rebuild tour was Switzerland, where Mat Armstrong and his crew were spotted among a stunning collection of supercars. Surrounded by Lamborghinis, McLarens, and other hypercars, the Veyron didn't just fit in, it stood out. People were instantly drawn to it, phones came out, and the atmosphere was electric with genuine excitement. This wasn't just any Bugatti, it was the one with an extraordinary story that many already knew, turning heads for reasons beyond the badge. Seeing that satin silver Veyron driving freely on Swiss roads was symbolic in itself. It was a living testament to the power of determination and technical skill, a machine that had defied expectations by returning from the brink of immobility. The car's presence sparked conversations among enthusiasts and casual observers alike, creating a buzz that extended well beyond typical supercar fandom. From Switzerland, the journey moved to France, Bugatti's historic homeland. Here, the Veyron slipped quietly through the streets, yet made a profound statement, without uttering a word. Driving on French soil carried an emotional weight. The car's resurrection was happening at the heart of where these hypercars originate and thrive. It was as if the Veyron was coming home, proving its readiness and worthiness in the place that gave birth to its legend. The contrast between the Veyron's rough beginnings and its elegant return on French roads was striking. Where once it had been written off as irreparable, now it moved with confidence and purpose. This silent reclaiming of territory felt like vindication for Mat's tireless work and the countless setbacks overcome. It showed how resilience and knowledge can turn even the most daunting setbacks into fresh opportunities. These European sightings served as proof that hands-on restoration and perseverance could return a seemingly lost machine to full glory. People who encountered the car weren't just witnessing a rare automobile, they were seeing the culmination of a passionate project unfold in real time. It was a moment of shared excitement and inspiration in the automotive world. Yet, while Switzerland and France marked important milestones, the ultimate test awaited in Monaco. A place where automotive legends gather constantly, Monaco's reaction would reveal just how extraordinary Mat Armstrong's revival truly was. The stage was set for a moment that few could forget. Every journey deserves a dramatic arrival, and Monaco was about to provide just that. The night Monaco paused. Monaco, a playground for the world's most elite supercars, is no stranger to automotive excellence. Yet on one unforgettable night, Mat Armstrong's satin-silver Bugatti Veyron managed to stand out among a sea of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, and other hypercars. It wasn't just the car's rarity that caught attention, but the story it carried. A broken repossession brought back from the dead and now cruising the streets where legends are made. People stopped in their tracks, phones appeared, and a crowd quickly gathered. The presence of Hannah Smith by Mat's side added a sense of occasion, as if this wasn't just a car arrival, but a moment shared between two people who had weathered the storm together. Cameras flashed relentlessly, while whispers of admiration and disbelief rippled through the onlookers. Even in a place where vehicles like this are usual sights, this Bugatti became the main attraction. It wasn't just a high-priced hypercar. It was proof of perseverance and skill triumphing over fate. What made this moment especially powerful was how public reaction transcended mere curiosity. Everyone knew this wasn't any ordinary Veyron. It was a machine with a history few could match. The story of a stalled legend revived by one man's refusal to accept impossible. The crowd wasn't just admiring metal and horsepower, they were witnessing the culmination of a journey defined by grit and ingenuity. This attention was a quiet celebration of independent achievement. In a world where supercars are often treated like untouchable trophies, Mat's Veyron reminded everyone that passion and knowledge can rewrite the rules of ownership and repair. The night in Monaco was validation not just of a car restored, but of a mindset that refuses to back down in the face of overwhelming odds. Despite all the glitz and glamour surrounding Monaco's streets, the real highlight was the human story behind the wheel. Every challenge and setback, for the gearbox, the service, the fuel system, had led to this exact moment. The Veyron was no longer a garage-bound myth. It was alive, admired, and respected on one of the world's most prestigious stages. For many watching, this wasn't simply about a car showstopper arriving in style. It felt like witnessing the triumph of determination and creativity over convention and cost. The crowd that night saw the Veyron as more than just automotive engineering. They saw a symbol of relentless perseverance. It was inspiring, a reminder that impossible is just a challenge waiting for a solution. Mat Armstrong's Bugatti Veyron journey is a powerful story of persistence, skill, and rejecting limits. From a stuck gearbox to stealing the show in Monaco, it proves what passion and knowledge can achieve against all odds. If this story inspired you, make sure to like and subscribe for more incredible automotive adventures. The next chapter might be even bigger.